Good morning. Can everyone hear me?
Dr. Chisholm, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. Wow.
Good morning. We are so sorry about that, and I hope people will come back into sessions because it wasn't just yours, it was a glitch with all of them. So,
Okay. It's
yes,
no problem. It's
well,
just the fact
good.
that look, it's just the fact that I'm talking about technology and I'm having an issue with technology. That's what tickled me over here. But
Yeah, but it's not your issue. It's not your fault. So you can relax on that one.
well, it is what
But
it
y-
is.
yeah, but you are welcome to get started. I don't want to take any more of your time, but
Awesome.
and I think we do have people coming in. I'm trying. Yes, there's some coming back in.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
I am going to go ahead and get started. I do not
Sure.
want to belabor this session,
Yes.
but I do want to share some insights. So I am going to begin. This is where teaching meets innovation, technology, AI, and instructional design. I bid you all good morning. I am Dr. Latasha Chisholm. I am from Jackson, Tennessee. I am I hold a lot of roles here. I am the field experience and clinical practice supervisor here at Lane College in Jackson, Tennessee, among all the other hats that I wear. And so I want to welcome everyone and thank you for joining this professional learning session. Just to give you a little insight, today we're going to explore where teaching truly meets innovation at the intersection of technology, artificial intelligence, and intentional instructional design. This session is not about replacing educators with technology. It's just about equipping us as educators, us as educators, with tools that enhance our expertise, that streamline our work line, deepen our students' learning. So my goal today is to just to leave you feeling empowered and not overwhelmed. So here, the presentation overview again. We're going to talk about the evolving role of educators in a digital world, practical applications of AI in instruction, instructional design that drives engagement. And you all know if we don't engage our students, we have lost them from the get-go. Ethical considerations and equality, and I'm going to give you some action steps for immediate implementation. So let's get started. Let's just jump right in. Um, if you all don't mind typing in the chat, and I may not be able to see the chat, Dr. Cypress, but if you all
But
don't mind
I can
typing,
I can help you if you need me to help read
perfect,
something.
perfect. Just type in the chat when you heard the word AI or you see the word AI or artificial intelligence. What is one word that comes to mind? There's no right or wrong answer, you all, but just want to engage you a little bit. So, what is one word that comes to mind when you hear artificial intelligence or you see AI? I see robots. Okay. Anybody else? I see robots. Terminator. Good. Okay. Anybody else? Machines. Perfect. Well, and that is right. I see collaborator. Awesome. Good. And you know what? When we think about AI, all of those words entail AI. So the digital shift in education, there is a digital shift in education, you all. Education is no longer confined to four walls, and we see that on a daily basis. It's blended and it's virtual learning environments. After COVID, you all, education really became virtual. Increased access to digital tools, students as natives, and demand in personalized learning. So we know that our classrooms are now extended into the digital spaces. Blended and virtual environments are common. Students have access to more digital tools than ever more. And what I've learned in my classrooms now, and I've taught elementary, middle school, and now I'm in the higher ed world. But what I've learned in each of those spaces is that students will rather pick up they'd rather pick up the iPhone, iPad, laptop, opposed to actually reading. And so that is where we are now with they're having more access to digital tools. Many of them are digital natives, but they do not, that does not automatically make them digitally literate. And that's what I tell my students all the time. Just because you're well versed in Snapchat and all those things, that really doesn't make you digitally literate. So let's have a conversation about that. And so we have those open conversations. There's also a growing demand for personalized learning. Families expect instruction tailored to individual needs because as you all know, in our spaces, not every parent is tech savvy, and so they're looking for instruction to be tailored to their needs. And that what I heard parents say all the time is, if you want me to help my child at home, then you need to tailor it to my needs. Hey, ma'am, sir, I hear you. And so, excuse me, the question becomes, how do we respond strategically rather than reactively to these digital shifts in education? Well, let's talk further more about that. So, why innovation matters? Um, Innovation strengthens engagement because students interact with content in dynamic ways. Another one is differentiation, and that's been a word that's been around for a long time. Differentiation. It improves differentiation by allowing us to tailor materials quickly and effectively. Not just effectively, but efficiently. It's data driven. This conversation or innovation matters because it's data driven decision making. It enhances our data decision making skills because we have immediate access to student performance indicators. You all know back in the day we'd have to do so much to look at our student data, and now all we have to do is look at just a touch of a button, and we have access to student data in variations in colors and sizes and all of that good stuff. College career readiness. Um, Most importantly, it prepares students for college and career readiness in the technologically integrated world. And that's where we've moved to being technologically integrated. And so when our students come to us from our elementary, middle school, high school spectrum, we're expecting them to already be ready for the technological world. However, y'all, technology should enhance, but it shouldn't replace our great teaching. When we started our profession as teachers, we were trained to be great teachers, and we were trained in many methods. But technology is one that we are training our students on, but we should just let them know that it shouldn't replace great teaching, the great teachers that they are. My next slide. So our next slide is just understanding artificial intelligence or AI in education. And here are a few key points. So artificial intelligence refers to systems that simulate aspects of human intelligence. And you know what? I was working with colleagues from Tennessee State University, and I didn't realize that poll.com is one of those AI pages that is heavily used. And so I can't even think of his name. He's actually speaking for us today. He put in the search bar or the message bar. He said, act as the professor of whatever it was and make this assignment humanized. And I thought, humanized? And he said, well, yeah. He said, yeah, Chisholm. He said now artificial intelligence, you can type whatever you want and also include humanize. So it sounds just like a human wrote it. And y'all, I was flabbergasted. And so listen, artificial intelligence is just simply it's the human technique, but it's artificial technology. It's artificially written. So it's generated text, it's analyzing data, and it's also recognizing patterns, but it's all doing it in a human form. In education, AI can generate instructional materials. It can provide feedback. It can support differentiation. There's that word again that we've seen, and differentiation, y'all, isn't going anywhere. And it automates routine tasks like drafting parent emails and organizational data. The only thing that I tell my students when we talk about this is that you have to go back and you just look over it, because even though AI is a wonderful tool, sometimes AI can give us some stuff that might not be accurate. And so you just want to go back and make sure that it's accurate. And when I said that to my students, um, Dr. Haskell is who I meant to say earlier. That's who I was talking about. Dr. Haskell said to me, he said, well, Dr. Chisholm, he said, you can also put in there that you want to make it accurate. And I said, really? And he said AI is the going thing right now. AI can do anything that you want. And if you put in there, make it accurate, it'll make it as accurate to the T as possible. And I thought, wow. So just knowing this, that AI is not magic. It's just a simple tool. Its effectiveness depends on the educator's input. It depends on the educator's out oversight, and it depends on the professional judgment. And so, therefore, even though we depend on it heavily, we still have to go back and just reassess, just to make sure that it's inputting and outputting the correct information. So, slide 6 says practical AI tools for educators. And again, you all, this is something that I presented to our elementary, middle school, and high school educators, as well as some of the faculty here at Lane College. And so, the practical AI tools for educators, and we can say all, um, it's lesson plan support, and that's exactly what it is. It's support, so it can give us some extended tools. But again, I advise all educators, write your own lesson plans, just get you some support. um it can create rubrics and assessment questions. And I am big on using AI for my rubrics. When I give my assignments to my students, I will type in AI in a heartbeat. Give me a rubric for the assignment whatever the assignment is, and then give me some assessment pieces. But then I also type in that align with the state of Tennessee. And so therefore I give it exactly what I want. So I'm big on this when I'm grading my students' assignments for whatever project that I've given them. It also can generate discussion prompts and writing exemplars. What I am wanting to do some quick, fast classroom discussion questions, and when my students enter the classroom, I'll put the assignment in and say, hey AI, I need you to act as a professor and create some discussion questions and some answers, some potential answers. And so then that's how I'm differentiating my assignment for my students. But I am good for doing those discussion questions through AI prompts as well. It also can analyze student data, and you all have heard me say that before. If you put in whatever it is that you need to put in, it will disaggregate that data for you. Again, I always go back and look at the data that it produced, that I put in, just to make sure that it still aligns with everything that I did put in, and it did not deviate from what I wanted it to do. It can also draft those family letters that you need. And what I've done is I have actually created family letters for different classes, and then I put in the AI prompt, give it a nice tone. And so therefore The tone may be happy, it may be explanatory, it may be whatever I want, but I put it, I always say add a nice tone. And then that way I'm rereading it because I want to make sure that it is putting out information that I wanted to put out. So AI for differentiation. Again, there's that word differentiation, and we will not get away from that word. But differentiation is one of the most time intensive responsibilities we have because we know our students, and I will say this until I take my last breath. I do truly believe that all students learn in different ways. And so we have to have that differentiation. So AI can help teachers do several things, such as model reading levels. Oh, I'm sorry, modified reading levels to different lexile levels. It can also create scaffolding or scaffolded assignments with guided steps. It can also design enrichment activities for advanced learners. And you all have had even in the college world, we've had advanced learners where the assignment that we've given those students has been too much or too little rather, and so we might have to give that student just a little bit more. And so also in the elementary, middle school, and high school spectrum, we label those students sometimes gifted students, and so we have to give them enrichment activities as well. And so AI can be a great help with producing those things. It also can translate materials from multilingual students. And, we have students that don't just speak English in our classrooms. And so we have to be able to meet the need of that differentiating student. And so AI also helps with that as well. And I put this in, I highlighted this, that the teacher remains the instructional decision maker. And so whatever it is that you need, you make the decision. And so you can always have AI help you, but you remember that you remain the instructional decision maker throughout your instruction. So, instructional design foundations. Before adding technology, we must anchor ourselves in instructional design. We have to know the effectiveness of instructional design. And so effective instructional design includes clear learning objectives that drive everything. Alignment ensures assessment measures that we teach or what we teach. Um, Active learning strategies promote deeper cognitive engagement. Formative assessments. So those provide ongoing feedback. And we were taught in our when we were trained as teachers that we always provide formative assessment. And then reflection and revision they refine the practice. And so we reflect, we review, we reflect, we revise. And so AI can be a tool for that as well. So, with that being said, technology is one of the most powerful when grounded in those principles. So, when we use these principles, the effective instructional design, technology can be very, very powerful. Technology plus instructional design. When technology aligns with pedagogy, and that's one of those words that we teach our students that we prepare to teach. Pedagogy. Learning becomes interactive rather than passive. And I'll say that again. When technology aligns with pedagogy, learning becomes interactive rather than passive. So that feedback becomes immediate through digital tools. Also, collaboration increases via shared platforms. And then engagement deepens through multimedia and student choice. The integration must be intentional. It has to be intentional and not technology for technology's sake. So it has to be intentional, even though you're using technology, but it has to be intentional, not just because you want to use it for just the technology part. Student engagement in a digital age. Students are always engaged when we use technology. That's what I've learned. However, here's some strategies to increase engagement. One of them is the interactive polls and discussions. So, if you want to get your students involved, instead of having them always using pencil and paper, then you would definitely use polls and discussions, digital discussions to increase their participation. You would use project-based learning that promotes real-world application, multimedia assignment, which allows students to demonstrate and understand creatively. And then choice boards that support or are supported by digital tools that provide a little more autonomy for the students. So engagement is about the cognitive investment, not just not just activity. You always want to engage the students, so you'll promote their cognitive learning. You don't want it just to be about the activity. Data-driven instruction. Technology provides real-time data that was once difficult to collect. And again, you all heard me say at the beginning of the session, this will be my 27th year teaching. And so when I started 27 years ago, the way that we had to get our data was so difficult. But now we have things that are the tech savvy way that allows educators to track our students' progress. We can identify learning gaps before summative assessments. Sorry, you all. We can adjust instruction quickly, and then we can personalize intervention strategies. And that's one of the things that I enjoy about AI, that I'm able to personalize intervention strategies, even though that I have college students sitting in my classroom. Sometimes I have to provide intervention just for purposes of helping them pass this course. And so I'm able to personalize it using AI. So data should inform instruction, and it should not be overwhelmed. Well, data should inform instruction and not overwhelm it. And I said that totally crazy, so I'm gonna say that again. Data should inform instruction and not overwhelm it. A piece about ethics, equality, and AI. And so we have to teach we have to teach that the responsible implementation that responsible implementation is critical. Protecting students' data privacy. We must protect students' data privacy and comply with policies. We must be aware of bias within AI systems. We must ensure equitable access to technology resources. We must teach digital citizenship explicitly. And just know that equity is not automatic, it requires intentional planning. And I'll say that again, equity is not automatic, it requires intentional planning. So overcoming common challenges, and um, many educators may feel technology is overwhelming. When I came out of the classroom, I co-taught with a teacher who didn't like technology. I love technology. She didn't like technology because technology was a little overwhelming. And so many educators may feel that technology is overwhelming, and that it is not valid. But truth be told, educate technology can be overwhelming, but it is truly, truly, truly valid. There may be resistance to change. Yes, there may be resistance to change, but I mean, we have to move forward with technology. There may be limited training opportunities, and now that the world sees that technology is actually moving forward, there are more trainings that are being availed to promote technology. There may be infrastructure concerns. The solution is not immediate transformation. It is a professional learning and gradual uh, implementation. And so that's why I feel like we need more we need more training on AI, because guess what? As I told my students yesterday in class, I said, you all, AI is not going anywhere. And so one of my students said, no, I know it's not, Dr. Chisholm, because I want to perfect it as much as possible. And I thought, oh Lord, well, we need as many trainings as possible now, because we have students that are saying that, hey, I am going to perfect, AI to the best of my ability. I applaud him, but I just want to know that when these students, or when these, when AI begins to become more advanced, that I'm on board and that I receive all the trainings that I need, because I need to stay very, very intact while teaching young people. So the thing is, we need to start small. We need to build confidence, and we need to scale strategically. And so that's why I employ those who want to give the pushback on technology, on AI, that we need to start small with one AI supported task. Start small. That you can't. The Rome wasn't built in one day. Rome was started in a small spectrum, and so we need to start small. Align technology to um, align technology excuse me, align technology use directly to standards and objectives. And so again, you all heard me say that when I saw uh, Dr. Haskell put in align act as the college professor, and he typed in all these requests, and then he said align with. And so those are the things that we have to do. And so if we want our work to align with the state of Tennessee, then we just align with the state of Tennessee standards and objectives. We want to collaborate with colleagues. I always say that dealing with technology, you don't want to be on the island alone. And so you always find people that know more than you, or know just as much as you, and you all collaborate. And so you want to collaborate and share strategies with your colleagues. Then you want to reflect on students' outcomes. So when I put this AI lesson together, how did my students how did they receive that? Did they receive the knowledge? You want to reflect on their outcomes. And then you want to commit to continuous learning, continuous learning and adapting. Sustainable innovation is critical. It is critical. So for future teaching, or future teachers, they must be, and I put the future educator must be, this is what they must be. They have to be adaptable, data informed, technologically fluent, and student centered. Innovation is not optional, it is essential. However, innovation does not mean abandoning proven pedagogy. It means evolving while persevering with what works. You're not being replaced, you are being re-equipped. And as I conclude, let's just, if you all want to type in the chat, how AI can enhance, not replace your expertise. How can AI enhance and not replace your expertise? And what is one innovative strategy that you will implement? Um, if you want to type a few of those responses in the chat, that would be great. I can't see the chat, but I see convenient and overwhelming. People need to mute themselves. Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear anybody. But I see one person that says convenient and overwhelming. So anybody else put anything in the chat? I don't see anything else in the chat.
I had
Oh,
one thing that I was going to mention,
yes.
Latasha. Um, utilizing it with CAPE. And Melina did a great session on this last year. She probably did it at this past year too, at the Cape Con conference, but I know the year before she did a great session on utilizing CAPE. And our self-study and everything is due next Saturday. But I
Mm-hmm.
will tell you, for instance, getting each component of a standard is 10,000 characters. Well,
Mm-hmm.
you've written like 10 pages, you know. So getting it down to 10,000 characters and telling it to retain all the evidence and data is so sharp. It can do that. Whereas before, I mean, this is my third, fourth CAPE cycle at my university that I've gone through. And before, it was just hours on hours doing that, just that one task, getting it down to
Mm-hmm.
10,000 characters. So I think in my implementation of it as a dean, utilizing it for those purposes have really been helpful. I don't, we're not using it to the fullest potential. I mean,
Right.
AI is just a toddler right now, about 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But once it grows into a teenager and continues to grow, I know we're not even scraping the tip of the
We're not even
seeing the tip of
scraping
the
the
iceberg.
surface. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I haven't used it with Kate, but I've used it with several other things that I've had to produce for our department. And
Hmm.
I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
wow, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And so I showed it to one of my colleagues, and he was like, we need to talk about this. And I was like, yeah, we can talk about this because I said it to me, it's a work smarter, not harder ethic.
Right.
It's
Right.
a work smarter, not harder. And so
Hmm.
I'm enjoying it to the fullest. And when just to your point, when you said that it's a toddler, like my student said, he said, Dr. Chisholm, I am working to, he said, I want, and he's a computer whiz. He said, I want to enhance it so much more. And I'm like, listen, I understand. And I just want to stay in your good graces. And so when you decide that you're going to produce something, for AI, I want to say, hey, I knew that student, I taught that student, and here's some credits. So I do want to say thank you all for your commitment to excellence in education, and for being willing to grow alongside with your students as we go through this AI process. I know AI can be overwhelming. Technology itself can be overwhelming. And so, as educators, as those of you who are teaching students to teach students, educators, I want to say I commend you for your excellence in education as we navigate through the technological world, and
Hmm.
as you help your students walk through the technological world as well. So, in my closing thoughts, and moving forward with purpose, innovation starts with curiosity, progress over perfection, technology supports your expertise. The future of learning is humanized centered. So, again, it's humanized center. And I do want to say, I do appreciate you all for joining. I have listed my contact information here. Dr. Chisholm, Lane College, L. Chisholm at lanecollege.edu. And I want to open the floor for any questions if you all have any. And if you do not have any, I want to say thank you all so much for joining this session. It was fun creating this PowerPoint, and have a great rest of your day and enjoy the rest of your conference.
Thank you. Were there any questions for Dr. Chisholm at all?
I didn't
Any
see any in the chat.
I just wanted to say, Latasha, we had Dr. Robbie Melton from Tennessee State University come do a workshop for us at Trevecca. She is amazing.
Isn't she amazing? She was, well, listen,
Yes,
she was one of my dissertation chairs. So she is amazing. I mean, and I work with
yeah,
her and Dr. Haskell, because they're both at the Tennessee State in the technology department. I reach out to them often. So she's very amazing. Yes, she is.
she is. She
Yes.
demonstrated using Poe.com and
Mm-hmm.
several other applications where you can make music, you can do a podcast of a
That's awesome.
website, and just awesome.
She
And,
is
and and that's
phenomenal.
good. And you can't capture it all in 1 hour or 45 minutes,
Oh, no.
And but that's the good thing is that and Latasha, I should call you Dr. Chisholm, I'm sorry, but you share some good tidbits in there. And so, and I really especially respected the part on ethics because that's what our students are not some that ethical the ethical codes, all of that when they take tests online, we're finding students are beginning to cheat a little bit.
Mhm.
So we're having to go back into our online honor lock systems with Canvas, things of that nature, to try to figure out how can we stop them from using AI while they're taking online tests and things like that. So the ethical part of that really gave me some good little tips too.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
I mean, honestly, there will be no way to stop them.
Yeah,
It's just the reiteration of, okay, y'all, you've learned this. So
yeah,
use your own intellect. Don't
yeah,
use AI, don't use the internet. Use what you know. Show me what you know.
yeah.
And so I try to say that every time I give them an assignment or something, I just try to smile and just say, hey, y'all, you show me what you know. Don't just use AI. I want to know what you know.
Right.
And does it work sometimes? It does. And then do I have to go into mama mode? 98% of the time.
Of
But I
course.
mean, this is the age
Absolutely.
that we're in,
That's right.
this is the age that we're in. Yeah.
That's right.
But
And
again,
do
I thank you all so much for the opportunity to be able to present to
Yeah.
you and enjoy the rest of your conference.
thank
Thank you.
you.
Take care.
Judy, thanks for your comments too.
Oh, absolutely.
Bye bye.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you. Bye bye.